On 4 Now, the best of today's one-day cricket. It's the West Indies versus Zimbabwe.
Sport on 4 with Stepstone Online Recruitment.
Good evening. Here's a riddle for you. What's the connection between the Betzer twins, yesterday afternoon in SW19, and the Zimbabweans? No prizes, I'm afraid, because it's not the roadshow. Cricket's the clue, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this. And the answer? Siblings. These two we're going to hear a great deal more about, and their father will make sure of that. Which is the Monday connection, of course. Venus and Serena, champions at Wimbledon. On Saturday at the Kennington Oval, where Alec and Eric played their cricket, the Strang brothers, Brian and Paul, got together with the Flower brothers, Grant and Andy, to hijack England in much the way they had hijacked the West Indies with a fine team effort at Bristol just a few days earlier. All of which left the Natwest series table looking like this: Zimbabwe top dogs and England and the West Indies pulling up the rear. "Thank you for visiting Lords," said the MCC, but we were all sad as the rain fell. We won't get into the War Twins yet, that's next summer. For now, it's a case of Flower Senior and Jimmy Adams unravelling riddle number 2. And the answer to riddle number 2 is that Jimmy Adams won the toss and he chose to field first, asking the Zimbabweans to bat. Guy Whittle opening on the left, Neil Johnson on the right. Natwest Trophy one-day cricket coming to Canterbury, the old ground, for the first time. There's the West Indies side. Sherwin Campbell is there to open the batting at the top with Chris Gale. There is no change to the side which was doing business before the rain interrupted at Lords the other day. No rain yet here at Canterbury, but everybody huddled in warm clothing, hot coffee and hot soup as well. The Zimbabweans, Heath Streak in that team. That is a key cricketer for them. They're a real international class bowler. Paul Strang back as well. Look, there's the famous old Canterbury tree on the left of the picture. You hit the ball into that, however high it may be, it will only earn you 4. 100 one-day internationals today for Guy Whittle. The Flower brothers and Alistair Campbell have 100 one-day internationals for Zimbabwe, and he was quickly into his stride. Lovely footwork, leaning forward there to drive the ball. Johnson too, this time rocking back to smack the ball past cover. A very handy performer and quite an impressive partnership. Ian Bishop is with me.
Yes, and the West Indies bowling wasn't at its best today. Johnson square of the wicket on the offside, and again square of the wicket, so he loves that area. Missed catch there.
They were racing along. In fact, they got to 40 in 6 over. It was very wet in the outfield. Sympathy with the West Indians for the field problems rather than the bowling. Beauty. He really timed that nicely. He stood up and in quite classical style, half using the pace of the ball and half using his own timing.
Splendid timing again from Neil Johnson. He's so strong square of the wicket. Mervyn Dillon might be served to have a go round the wicket at him, try and cramp him for room.
Excellent running between the wickets, and that's 50 for Zimbabwe. It's come a good time and without the loss of a wicket. Much approval from the dressing room balcony. 49 balls for 50.
Canterbury Cathedral. Run rate 5.2, 10 overs have gone. And Manhattan looking very good from a Zimbabwe point of view. You've got the Empire State Building there, 13 off that over.
Good running, because what Johnson knew was that the man at short mid-wicket was always going to struggle, and that therefore the man at mid-on mightn't react, thinking the man at short mid-wicket would go for the ball. It was a very cleverly judged single. The pitch this morning certainly had a covering of grass that suggested there may be a bit of grip for the ball. It's reasonably dry given conditions in the last couple of days here in Canterbury, and the fact that it's been under cover. They've done fairly well to hold it together. It's been even pace so far, and there's nothing to suggest it shouldn't play well throughout the game. That is such good batting. Because the outfield's slow, he won't get 4 for it, which he does deserve. But to hit the ball on the up on a pitch that isn't really racing onto the bat, and to do it with such a lovely flourish, such confidence, really nice to watch.
One of the other idiosyncrasies of Canterbury is the slope. It's a very big slope, even bigger than Lord's. It goes right across this way, so that bowling from the Nackington Road end, going across the left-handers, the ball will tend to be pulled outside the off stump. And the West Indies have got to be very careful about their line. Neil Johnson has profited from width several times already in this innings. And bowling to the right-handers, they've got to start the ball really quite wide outside the off stump here to make sure it doesn't go down the leg side. That started wide but was finished up on off stump.
61, the partnership worth from 74 balls, Johnson and Whittle. Johnson's had quite a lot more of the strike, which is the relevant thing, 47 balls he's faced. And then we see some movement at last for the West Indies. Mervyn Dillon, I thought, Ian, bowled really well.
Well, he's bowled well in the entire series. He's troubled all the batsmen, and he's been so accurate as well. I think that it's a disappointment that he's not on this tour.
Yeah, it's an odd move, something that we were talking about earlier in the day. Again, he was getting some bounce there, that he wasn't a part of the original tour party, because had he been, I think he might be pressing King and Rose for a place in the side, full stop. Again, opportunities, but the ball not quite going for the West Indians, if you know what I mean. And the Zimbabweans stealing singles. That's another feature of their game that I like. Very good running between the wickets.
Well, it's part and parcel of the one-day game to pick up your singles, a lot of boundaries, singles in between.
That's why the Manhattan chart is in their favour, bar that period around the 10th over where Dillon was impressive. They could, if they played out of their boots, get up to 280. That would be 6 and over. I reckon 250 is more like it if they play very, very well. 50 for Mr. Johnson.
It was very important that he got some runs at the top of the order to get Zimbabwe off to a very good start, and today he did that. He did it very well.
He's one of the players that can take the game away from even the best opening bowlers. It's lovely to see him in touch.
Neil Johnson's profited from quite a lot of width from the West Indies fast bowlers, and that's where he likes it, outside the off stump, so he can free the arms and swing the bat through. Now, the West Indies have adjusted their line and tried to tuck him up, bowl around middle and leg stumps, and that's working quite well until now. Johnson started to realise what they're doing. He's shuffling across, getting into position more on off stump, and now he's able to profit from their more leg stump line and flick away for 4 on the onside. Good thinking by Neil Johnson.
He's after that one, and he's hit it powerfully. The man at square leg only had to go about 10 metres and couldn't make it. Good shot, Guy Whittle.
Well, 2 for 28 against England, but this is different. This is Zimbabwe, and they're off to a good start. Lucky umpire.
He's on the pull, too short. Didn't time it as he would have liked, but he's going to get 3. Oh, there's a mix-up. Yeah, this could be a run-out. Very, very close. There was a mix-up initially. Whittle wanted to go. He turned blind. Johnson said no initially and then started off.
The mix-up, stall and stutter, and then a decision to go, and I think he's out by 2 feet. Maybe a little less, but nevertheless quite clearly out.
Johnson's gone for 51, 89 for 1.
Great disappointment for Neil Johnson. He was going well. Even greater disappointment for the crowd, because the rain came just after midday. It was extremely windy out there, which one thought might make those rain clouds blow away, and very, very cold. It wasn't long before they came out again. Murray Goodwin would be the new batsman for Zimbabwe, but Jimmy Adams just praying his bowlers could plug on in there. It was very wet in the outfield. In fact, that's Mervyn Dillon, who had slipped once, I think, falling all over the place. Here's Chris Gale bowling to Murray Goodwin in.
The West Indies feeling wasn't at its best today, but their catching wasn't very good either. Ridley Jacobs unable to hold on to this catch off of Chris Gale down on the ground.
No, it seemed to suggest a bit of a sort of malaise generally. I mean, Ricardo Powell was one who leapt about the place and did his best, but as a general rule, there was something like 3 catches already gone down by this stage of the innings. That is Murray Goodwin, so good off the back foot, nudging the ball around. And the point is that the 100 is up for Zimbabwe, and it's come from 22.4 overs. They're going well in.
They're going very well. There's a couple of big overs in there, but it was also helped by the West Indian ground fielding, or lack of it, and lack of good catching as well. On this occasion, Franklin Rose being the man, not able to hold on to this. He would have wanted to think that he could have held on to that 9 times out of 10. It wasn't to be.
I think it's difficult for a fast bowler in his follow-through to readjust. I got the impression that he thought that was coming a little faster, and he would never really have a chance to get to it, and it was rather an afterthought that he leapt in the air and sort of thrust out the hand. Another chance gone.
Jimmy Adams from the pavilion end. Big shout. Jimmy Adams is far from pleased. Ridley Jacobs in the same fashion. Batsman didn't pay any attention to anything.
Well, there seemed to be a big noise. Jimmy Adams' first delivery. A little bit of spin, a little bit of bounce.
Bowled him, and Chris Gale has struck again. Well, he is proving very, very effective. He's flat through the air. Very, very good performance from him once again.
Well, Murray Goodwin came too soon, used his feet, ended up yorking himself. Bang on target, Chris Gale. He's picked up another wicket. Murray Goodwin, the batsman, making his way back to the pavilion. Zimbabwe lose their second wicket with the score at 118. Goodwin's gone for 16.
Well, this Zimbabwean team is very versatile. They're the 3 matches they've played so far, and at the halfway mark, they had 114 for 3 against West Indies in their first game at Bristol. Then when they were in trouble, they were 79 for 3, and they fought back and still won the match. And here today at Canterbury, 110 for 1. Well, it's a wide called, but he could have been out-stumped.
Yeah, you've got to be quick as a keeper.
Well, he had it. Might just have been the jar of his elbows on the ground that knocked it out.
Well, he's having a nightmare show in Campbell. He's misfielded 2 or 3. That's relatively comfortable.
It's a very good performance from Guy Whittle. A half-century for him in his 100th match at limited overs level. Very good performance.
Yes, what an adaptable and impressive cricketer Guy Whittle is. 138 for 2 now, 32 overs gone, and the rate very steady indeed. Plenty of singles there, 58 of them, and 7 boundaries. That's all Mind you, there were problems for the West Indies, not just with the catching and the sliding around, but the odd miss peeled off the mat, and the whole thing really wasn't going their way. Gale took the wicket. He's bowled tidily with his off breaks, and there was the run out as well. The truth was they didn't have a great bowler, or Walsh or someone, to come back in and really tie things down for Jimmy Adams, and consequently Zimbabwe were able to continue on that extraordinarily steady run rate all the way through their innings thus far. Memories of Roger Harper. A moment in the bicentenary match at Lord's in '87 when Harper did that to Graham Gooch, except he hit and run him out. So nicely struck. Guy Whittle is a much underrated cricketer.
This is a great shot, down and straight over the top. That's where you need to look to hit the spinner, straight down the ground. Just the one bounce, just short of a 6.
There's a little bit of mystery associated with Chris Gale's off-spin bowling. It looks fairly innocuous, and Murray Goodwin played that quite well. 50 miles an hour that was. Now this one's the one that bowled him, and it's quite a lot quicker, 56 miles an hour that time. Now if you look at the split screen here, the slower one's on the left and the quicker one on the right. There's no obvious difference in his delivery, but just if you look on the right here, an extra flick of the wrist in the right-hand ball, the quicker delivery than the left-hand one, and I think that's the thing that deceives Goodwin and has deceived a number of other players during this series. 2 for 28 against England and 1 for 42. He did well today as well.
That's a good hit. Campbell's been looking for that. He's been waiting for the right length of ball, and then he can just pick it up almost.
Favourite area for Alistair Campbell over mid-wicket. Just turning the face, using the wrists. And he's hit it well.
The partnership so far in the innings, that really good start by Johnson and Whittle. 89 from 114 balls, having been put into bat, don't forget. And now Campbell and Whittle already put on 49. They're building well. 167 for 2 from nearly 38 overs. Well, gosh, that looked like it might hit middle stump. Will be interesting to see again.
Full toss. Looks close, but it might have just missed the off stump.
Campbell's gone big, and big enough. Tall man was down there. Dixon McLean. And even the outstretched body couldn't do anything about that strike down the ground.
Yes, conscious decision, and he's given himself every opportunity. He really laid into that, got a lot of height, and over the boundary.
.40 overs gone now. 185 for 2 Zimbabwe. Extremely impressive batting performance.
Zimbabwe's batting was spectacular today. Whittle was sublime, whipping this ball through mid-wicket very firmly indeed. And then he countered with a superb shot inside out off of middle stump over mid-off for 4. I thought that was a shot of the day for me.
It really was. It was nice to see a gritty cricketer playing those sort of strokes as well. And the balls for 50, look at that, 40 for this last 50. They're really going along at a cracking pace at this stage. Quite an interesting educational shot there in how to watch the ball through the big stroke. You can watch it in defence sometimes easier than doing the big stroke. And Alistair Campbell is dropped. Yet another one down. Sherwin Campbell. I make that certainly 5, if not 6 catches. Gone today, maybe one more. Who knows? There've been an awful lot. Here's Mervyn Dillon. Oh dear, 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 dear. Mr. Bishop's up.
Well, they haven't been catching very well today at all. They must have dropped at least 6 or 7 catches today, the West Indies. Quite unusual. In one-day cricket, you need to hold on to all these catches if you're to win.
You certainly do. Anyway, that little bunt down the ground from Alistair Campbell bought his 50, and what a turnaround it's been for him. It's been a really difficult couple of years. He stood down from the captaincy, hasn't found any form with the bat for the whole of this winter, and just in the last 2 innings, he really has begun to look like his old self.
One of the problems for the West Indies fast bowlers is they haven't varied their pace at all today, which has allowed the Zimbabwe batsmen to take account of some length balls and hit across the line, or in that case straight down the ground. They can premeditate the pace the ball is arriving at with no slower deliveries. They can play cross-bat shots in complete safety, knowing that the ball is going to arrive at the same pace each time. They can put it away almost more or less where they like.
It's gone a long way up in the air, and it's well caught. Tremendous catch running back. Wavell Hines, the fielder. Guy Whittall's gone. He's equalled his highest score in one-day internationals. Well, this was some catch.
It was an excellent catch. An excellent innings as well from Guy Whittall. Tried to go across the line, didn't time it well, got a top edge, went high into the air, but it was always going away from the man at mid-wicket, Wavell Hines, who had to run back about 20 metres and just managed to get it. A very good catch. Guy Whittall gone for a well-played 83, 214 for 3.
That should be an easy catch. Sherwin Campbell, the man taking it, he's had a little bit of a horror stretch, not all his own fault, but he's finally got one that's been hit straight down the ground.
Never looked at ease, Grant Flower, against the quicker bowlers. And this one, he's just leant back and tried to get some elevation over mid-wicket near the bottom of the bat. And Sherwin Campbell, he has had a bit of a nightmare in the field, but this one he's managed to get hold of. And Grant Flower's gone. 229 for 4.
Well, as Ian Bishop and I have been chatting this evening, we have counted 7 dropped catches. This time the guilty party, Ridley Jacobs, for the second time. That just seemed to hit him much quicker than he thought. Everybody was saying he should have gone for it with 2 hands, but he thrust out the one hand at the last minute. 13 more runs were added to take the Zimbabwe to 256 for 4. Alistair Campbell finishing unbeaten with 77. That was a really good batting performance. 2 wickets for Rose, 1 for Gale. There was a run out there as well, but not much joy today for West Indies bowlers.
Sport on 4 with Stepstone Online Recruitment. Sport on 4 with Stepstone Online Recruitment.
So the West Indies need 257 runs to win, but it could be so many fewer if their fielding had been better. The conditions out there were certainly decidedly un-Caribbean-like, but still the fielding was excessively error-strewn by the West Indies. Sometimes the advertising logos didn't help. And even good fielders like Sherwin Campbell fumbled the ball on both sides of the wicket, allowing extra runs to the Zimbabwe batsmen. And when they could pick the ball up cleanly, as Ricardo Powell does here, they can't throw it straight. Quite a bit of swing on that one. And the catching was pretty awry as well. Campbell allowing Guy Whittall off the hook there. And another reprieve from Wavell Hines with a bit of a juggling act. And Ridley Jacobs' wicket-keeping, well, this won't belong in an Alan Knott masterclass. Some of those stick or they don't, but they're here. He just took his eye completely off the ball. And this chance from Andy Flower, well, 2 hands would have been good. I reckon the fumbles and drops cost the West Indies 30 runs. They'll have to bat much better than they fielded.
Yes, and they have to bat well to get past England and to get into the hunt for a place in the final. It is a tough ask, make no mistake.
Well, that was an interesting one. Did he get a bit of bat on it? Umpire Ray Julian is unmoved. A little bit of swing for Brian Strang. and certainly worth a shout.
Zimbabwean bowlers obviously a little slower than the West Indians. A little bit of movement in to the right-handed Campbell off the seam.
In the air and out. Nice, comfortable catch. So Johnson struck with the bat, and now he's struck with the ball. Sherwin Campbell is out in the third over. The West Indies lose their first wicket at 7.
It's a nice early start. Not a brilliant delivery, half volley on leg stump, but couldn't keep it down, couldn't keep it away from the man in front of square, Sherwin Campbell. Johnson, while happy, will have mixed feelings about it. But it got a wicket. Sherwin Campbell is gone for only 2. The West Indies are 7 for 1.
Beautiful shot. We'll see many good shots during the day. Not many will be better than that.
Well, he just loved these, Chris Gayle, and the crowd loves it as well. Hits the ball quite powerfully off the front foot, just in the slot. And he found the gap well, which is important.
That's in the air, it must be out. Simple catch, Chris Gayle too early. Heath Streak won't get an easier catch in international cricket than that one. So the West Indies are in all sorts of trouble.
That's a good wicket to get. And that's the problem with Chris Gayle. He's a useful batsman, very talented. He's only 20. But his footwork isn't the best. And I think that's a good delivery, and the reason they defeated him was because it straightened from leg to off. Looking to play it away to the leg side, and it straightened on him, got the leading edge. An easy catch to the man, Heath Streak at mid-on. Another wicket for Johnson. Another one for Zimbabwe. The West Indies in trouble. Chris Gayle gone for 6. 18 for 2.
Beautiful shot. No one moved. Save a spectator or two, and they were clapping because they knew it was going for 4.
Well, he hits the ball so hard, Wavell Hines. Doesn't move his feet a lot. Just gets bat to ball square of the wicket. And how often have we seen that today? Another boundary. A precious one.
Caught and bowled, he's gone. Again, the slower delivery, just a subtle change of pace. And Brian Strang has got the 3rd West Indian wicket. Wavell Hines on his way back to the pavilion for 9.
That was excellent bowling. He was suckered in there, Wavell Hines. Previous 2 strokes gave a good indication of what he was trying to do, looking to hit the ball over the top. Just held it back. Strang. Hines threw the shot before it was to him. An easy return catch. Very good dismissal. Wavell Hines gone for 9. The West Indies are now 23 for 3.
7 overs of the innings gone. Startling comparison. Zimbabwe were 45 for no wicket. West Indies are 24 for 3. There's the Manhattan chart, and it is far too random, and wickets, those red blocks at the bottom, don't bode well for this West Indian run chase. However, the maestro was at the crease, and he didn't find it that easy early on.
No, if there was one person that could help the West Indies scoring rate, it would be Brian Lara, but his timing was out today, and so was his ability to find the gaps as well.
There's no run scored off the bat now for 21 balls, and of the 26 that have been scored, 9 are extras and 8 are wides.
Well, he would have been gone. A direct hit would have had Jimmy Adams back to the pavilion.
Oh, goodness me, Adams had given it up. They've got a real problem. Jimmy Adams is going to sacrifice himself. I guess he had to do that with Lara being the likely match winner. Good old-fashioned mix-up. And a good solid response from Zimbabwe. The ball was collected in two hands. The instruction came initially after the slip to throw to the striker's end, but then the adjustment and the throw to the non-striker's end did the trick, and Adams wasn't really even in the frame.
It was very good work by the bowler, Heath Streak, to get back behind his stumps. A lesson to be learnt there. Young cricketers watching. Adams has gone for 10. West Indies in all sorts of trouble, 40 for 4.
Oh, gone! Lara's gone! Joy amongst the Zimbabwe boys. That is the big wicket. Straight after the loss of Adams. A stunning moment in this match.
Well, there can't be any way back now for the West Indies. Heath Streak getting a bit of extra bounce. Lara looking to hit it through the offside. Gets an inside edge onto leg stump. And it's a big, big celebration. They know that's the key wicket. The real danger man has gone for the West Indies. Heath Streak has struck. Isn't he happy about it? Lara's following in his captain. He's gone for 3.
40 for 5. Lara gone and Adams gone. The men who might have dragged it back for the West Indies. Only 12.2 overs, but the innings in chaos. Zimbabwe's 3 seamers all doing their bit. 2 for 16 Johnson, 1 for 23 Strang, and now a wicket for Heath Streak with just his second ball. And what a wicket it was. The West Indies maestro, Brian Lara.
He's never moved. It's got Ricardo Powell off the mark.
Straight through the gap, playing across the line, and the pressure exerted there by the left-arm spinner Dirk Viljoen has been too much for Ricardo Powell.
Ricardo Powell's on his way. He'll be disappointed when he sees us in the dressing room. 57 for 6.
Oh, many a mile. That's the longest boundary here at Canterbury. Jeez, he's given that something as well. And another biggie. Four more for Franklin Rose. Another one up in the air and over the rope. Close, yes, gone. Rose is gone, he doesn't like it. I'm not sure he is aware of just how far across the stumps he'd put that front foot in the attempt to sweep the ball, but Paul Strang has, if we can call it that, revenge.
Well, it wasn't a genuine leg break. It pitched on and was definitely going on to hit middle stump. Rose got his foot outside the off stump slightly, and I get the feeling it was a top spinner. Franklin Rose gone for 30, 103 for 7.
Yes, for the second time in the day, the rain came straight after a wicket. 256 for 4 Zimbabwe, and needing 257 to win the game, the West Indies 109 for 7 as the rain kept everybody off the field. It was a very frustrating little period. They still need 148 to win the game. Zimbabwe, when they came back on, was straight out there after the umpires, very keen to wrap things up, but there was some resistance.
Yes, there was some resistance, and it came in the form this time of Ridley Jacobs, who hasn't had many runs so far, and Nixon McLean as well. going on Nixon McLean to get a lot of runs, 50 partnership between them.
Very important that they hung on in there, of course, because run rate may matter later in this tournament. Ian had been saying that Ridley Jacobs was handy, then the mistake came, which was the wicket that Zimbabwe wanted, and of course England want. It's very important to remember the part that, as I say, run rate could have later in the tournament. If it is Zimbabwe who get through to the final with the win that they ought to confirm today, then Nixon McLean smacking one out the park, or nearly anyway.
Was almost got some fingers to it. A powerful strike, McLean.
There's 50 for Nixon McLean, and good for him too, because he's a natural cricketer, bowled very well at Lord's, and enjoyed his couple of seasons with Hampshire enormously. Anyway, it was very soon after that that they all shook hands. The score was finished at 186 for 8, 3 balls after that big hit by McLean. Zimbabwe winning by 70, 186 for 8 in the end, the West Indies. So a big disappointing performance from them today. Goodness me, they really weren't at anything like their best. Look at these two Manhattan charts. That very, very steady effort from Zimbabwe with the bat. Just the 10th over being a tricky time for them. And then a very random, spasmodic effort from the West Indies, and a bad start really didn't help them at all. The Zimbabwe dressing room was delighted with things, no surprise. They are through to the final at Lord's. They have maximum points from the games that they've played. England and the West Indies still have much to do. Well, it was Guy Whittle who had been promoted to open the batting today, who ended up with the Man of the Match award. He got pats on the back from everybody in the dressing room, as he ought to have done. He's the most versatile and handy cricketer.
Last time we played a one-day final.